Hey everyone, it's Daniel, and thank you so much for watching. In a moment, I'm going to introduce you to Rowan, who is a very interesting character that I had the pleasure of interviewing live inside my Authority Hackers Facebook group. And by the way, if you're not a member yet, make sure to join using the link below because we go live twice a week, and next time I want you to enjoy the live experience. But until then, inside this training, we're going to talk about how to elevate all aspects of your life without sacrificing anything. By the end of this training, you're also going to get practical advice and tip on how to find that right balance in your life, and why it is actually so bad, so horrible to only focus on work, something that us entrepreneurs, business owners sometimes tend to do, but it's actually making you less productive, less healthy, and it's just damaging everything. And this was a very interesting discussion, so make sure to follow through until the end because we're going to give you some awesome advice there. And also guys, if you like the videos and content, make sure to smash that heart button and also subscribe to the channel so you can get a notification whenever there's a new upload on the channel. Thank you guys. Without further ado, let's dive in.
That's cool. So first of all, I'm really grateful to being in this live training and interview. My name is Rowan Wiechmann. I'm from the Netherlands. I've been in the military for 6 years as a leader. After that, 1 year as a leader, team leader in a corporate job, leading up to 65 people. I'm really passionate about leadership, but I felt like something is missing, so I started to become an entrepreneur, and now really following my journey and my mission to impact at least 1 million people live their life to their fullest potential. So it's a big one.
Yeah, man, I think it is awesome and it is a great cause. And I already see that we have 3 people live with us. So, guys, first of all, Rowan made a very awesome, I mean, I already saw it, an awesome presentation that we'll soon switch to. But before I do that, again, because I see that people have joined, please help us, guys, by smashing that heart button again and commenting, letting us know that you watch it, #live, #replay. Again, just I'm doing this on the first couple of minutes so Facebook will know that this live is happening and it will show it to more and more people. So Ryan, you said thank you for letting me for the interview. I think it is awesome that we have you. I mean, I've been following your work, and you have been doing an amazing job. I've seen
Thank
your
you, man.
live, and guys, I would recommend you, if you're not convinced by the end of this webinar, to follow Rowan in his profile. He's going live almost daily, I think, and you've been doing a very, very nice job in that. So guys, thank you so much for listening. I think that we can both go to your presentation if you're ready, and you can share your screen. I think it will be awesome, and we can start.
Let's do it. Let me check. Share screen. Yes. So yeah, first of all, my coaching business is called Millennial Leaders. So that's why the Millennial Leaders is on there. And I also have a Facebook group, but that's something for later. This training, how to level up in any area of your life without sacrificing health, time, and business. Yeah, this is something I feel like it's really important right now, especially in people around millennial age. So 18 or 20 till 35, but of course also older ages. We want to be the best we can and feel the best we can. So that's why I created this training, to create some awareness how you can do it. So have you ever asked yourself how those top level entrepreneurs seem so fulfilled and happy in all area of their life? I did it. I asked myself that question, and I was really curious, like, how is that possible? It seems like they are living so awesome lives while elevating success in their business, making millions and millions of dollars. And for me, it's not about the money, but still, when you have a lot of money, you don't have to think about it. So it takes a lot of stress away. So when I ask myself this question, I dive deeper into my experience as a leader in the army. So I'm giving a little bit more introduction about that in the next one. But I'm going to show you how I am using their way of thinking to get the most out of your life without sacrificing a lot. So this is me in Afghanistan, but I've been an ex-army veteran, 7 years of experience in leadership, led up to teams up to 65 people, and currently a high performance and mindset coach. I'm passionate about leadership and influence, so a lot of the stuff where I'm speaking about is definitely about those two topics, because I think, especially what you see right now, what's going on in the world, leaders need to step up, share their voice, and inspire people to do positive things, and not what's going on right now. Awareness is good, but I still feel like that we as a leader need to step up and share our voice with the communities. And last one, I research 53 plus high achieving leaders. Right now it's way more, but this just to give you a brief example how passionate about leadership it is, and that everything what I'm saying isn't just random stuff, but really also backed up with research. So first of all, why should I try to level up in any other area of my life? So let me take you to your current situation as a business owner. Probably as business owners, we are really focused and busy with making sure that the business is going well, growing, scaling, or maintaining, whatever your currently situation is. At least in my situation, and probably a lot of people can relate with that, is we tend to focus so much on the business that other areas of our life are not sacrificing, but we are neglecting them. Not always on purpose, but sometimes because we are so busy with building that business. But the reason why you should do it is, in my opinion, when you are lacking in some of those areas, you are losing fulfillment in your life. And if some of those areas are not aligned, which areas I'm going to share later, then there's way easier to feel unhappy, feel unfulfilled, and have stressful situations. So why should you try to level up in all areas of your life? Because it doesn't need to be any, but all areas of your life, is so that you will be always fulfilled, whatever you're doing, and fall in love with the process and the journey instead of the destination and the end goal. So first, feeling good, great, and happy. That's the first one. But the second one is way, way more important. And this is our overlooked thing. Synergy. What is synergy? It's like a connection between parts which are growing each other without focusing on everything at once. So for example, when you're creating better habits, it's also easier to be more healthy, or it's also evolving your sleep. It's like synergizing effect and evolving other things. So if you're focusing on other areas, your overall performance will increase, which creates feeling better, performing better, more results. In that research, I found 3 key factors. So I did research in a lot of leaders, especially impact-driven leaders, because I'm all about creating an impact. So I only follow the people who are sharing their thoughts about making a change, a positive change. So not those guys who are only talking about, hey, if you do this, you're rich tomorrow. No, only the guys who are saying like, you need to step up, make that change in your life, and also speak up to other people so they can live their life to the best. So it was the blueprint, the tactical mindset, and the purpose. Those are 3 key factors in a high performer's life, especially those who are doing really, really well. extremely well. So some of you guys or girls might think like, okay, blueprint sounds obvious or sounds clear. Purpose, I know what it is, but what the heck is tactical mindset? What is this military word doing in this presentation? I'm going to explain and dive deeper into the middle one, because the catalyst for success, personal success, because success, of course, is not always like tangible, but we all can define our own successes, is within that tactical mindset. A tactical mindset is a strategic way of thinking, not only in your business, but also in your life overall. So if you're being strategic in your life, then it will be way easier to release stress, because you know exactly what you're doing is the right thing to do. Even sometimes it is not the right choice, but we are backed up with our strategic thinking, so we know what can happen and how we can fix it. It's something I learned in the military, because of course, when I was in the war zones like Afghanistan, small, quick decisions in really stressful situations could have been like, living or dying. And then it's definitely like, okay, now that decision-making process is really important, and that strategic thinking is like the core of making the right decisions in those difficult situations. So what did I create? Okay, I spoke about certain areas of your life. I created a framework to really show people, okay, when I say focusing on all areas of your life, I speak about what I call the tactical six. The tactical six is divided, as you see, in 6 areas, and it starts with mindset and spirituality, health and fitness, mastery and skills, business and projects, balance and freedom, and the last one is impact and influence. So this is a framework which has some specialties. But why do we create something like this? Is to have like a proper foundation that we always come back at, to make sure that we always speak about the same thing. So to be honest, as I said, okay, it has some specialties. This framework can be split in 2 parts: the left side and the right side. The left side I call internal areas or individual areas, and it's all only for the person himself. So mindset and spirituality, that's something you need to improve yourself to make that better. Health and fitness, also you need to do the actions you need to take for yourself, and mastery and skills as well. So internal, everything what you could do, of course, you can hire a coach to get it faster. But overall, it's the direct action taking that we need to do as a person, which makes a difference in these areas. Right side, external, is everything together with other people. So, for example, in business, we can try to do business with ourselves. So we can try to sell something to ourselves, but that is not business. As well with balance and freedom, impacting and influencing other people, it's all together with other people, so in collaboration. So sometimes you don't have to take direct actions yourself to make sure that these areas are growing or evolving. Okay, so when I did the research, and especially with the tactical six in mind, I saw something going on. as we entrepreneurs, I saw a correlation between the 5-6 figure entrepreneur. Yeah, this one is for the fitness business, but overall, I can. Let me check. Yes. So now it's more like the general part. Of course, it's not like super specific, but it is just giving you a brief overview and making it clear. Like, okay, the average multiple 5-6 figure entrepreneur, whatever industry, in this case, doesn't matter, has done something about the mindset, because our gurus, our mentors tell us like, okay, mindset is really important, so we are going to read books. Some spend a lot of time on health, some don't do that much, or they're lacking a bit. But at least as entrepreneur, we know, at least if we ask every entrepreneur, they know that they need to spend time on their health and fitness level, their mastery and skills will be a bit up as well. Yeah, business, of course, that is our main focus. So that's where all the attention is going, working a lot of hours to make sure that we're getting the money in, that we can eventually grow our business to something impactful and change the lives of our families and maybe even more. The balance part is for some people really good, but also a lot, it's difficult. Because when working on your own business, it's sometimes hard to also maintain that freedom that you always wanted to achieve, spending time intentionally on relationships. And we try to impact some people, but still that's not our main focus. Our main focus in this case is growing our business. So this is the part which I see a lot of difference. As the 5-6 entrepreneur is focused on growing his business and getting well at it, they are like evolving and growing their business. But when we look at like the highest achievers, like the 7-8 figure leaders and even higher, it looks like they have like the key to success in all area of their life. Of course, it's not like perfectly balanced, but at least they are like performing at a high level in each area, because they know that they have to show up the same in each area to make sure that they are, as a person, become stronger and that there is no imbalance in their overall performance. So what we see, their business and making an impact, those two parts are like the core drivers of those leaders, and the rest is nicely balanced out, at least as much as possible. And just want to address, if you have health like evened out, it doesn't mean that you look like a bodybuilder or something like that, or a beach boy, whatever. It's all about, okay, having the best way or like the best outcome for your personal desires. So if you just want to look a bit better, healthy and fit, then it's still at a high level, because we don't have to achieve the extremes in everything, but we just need to see, okay, what is relevant for us and what makes us feel good, great, and happy in all those areas.
And actually, if I can stop you real quick, because I
Yes,
think you mentioned something very, very important, guys. So from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, a huge difference that you see after, again, researching and analyzing a lot of high achievers, people who are successful in their business and life, the majority of the difference that you see is actually that, well, let's say the 5 or 6 figure kind of entrepreneur, or I think that it will be valid also for people who just start out. People who just start out, or again, did not yet scale that high, give a lot of focus, and I can see it about myself as well, give a lot of focus for business while forgetting a lot about the other stuff. So for many of my years in business, I've been focusing solely on business, leaving aside the health, leaving aside all the other stuff. I was focusing on work, and I've been working like crazy for like 10, 12 hours a day. But later on, what you also said in the very beginning of the presentation is that if you balance things out, if you, for example, live a healthier life, it will actually make it easier for you to establish more healthy habits, like reading, like spending time in business, like educating yourself. So if I'm going to recap my quick recap, the fact that you're
Mm.
actually balance things out and not solely going extreme on one aspect, for example, which is business for most, you can actually have an easier going on, an easier life, a more healthy life, and it can actually be more effective also for the business side because you're more balanced, you're more healthy. I guess that in some point, in some way, you're also let's call it acting more effectively or acting smarter in a better way. So this is my understanding from the further difference that people like Jeff Bezos or high achievers again balance things out, while people who are just starting out and for a very logical reason focus primarily on business while leaving aside all the other stuff.
Exactly, and that is perfectly where you hit the point. Because just an example, Jeff Bezos is a really really busy man. He's of course the richest guy in the world right now, but still he has less hours for doing health and mindset stuff and everything than most of we entrepreneurs have. But still, he makes sure that he's implementing it every single day in his life, because he knows what, and this is something I come back at a bit later in this presentation, but the high level entrepreneurs, and I'm already going to give away that golden nugget, because they are so aware of their performance in all those areas. They know, okay, what is my focus? What needs my attention the most? Okay, for example, business. What can I implement in my life right now, today or tomorrow, to even let the other areas grow as well? So, for example, if you know, okay, I don't have so much time left, whatever, instead of working out 2 hours, just implement a half-hour walk, just to start off. Just implement habits and routines in all those other areas, so that you know, okay, my focus is in business, but still I'm automating myself as a person with habits, so that I'm still growing my life together with the business without even stressing or focusing too much on that, but still keeping that balance. So,
Well, I think it's
yep.
super important. So one more thing that I want to address. I think that the majority of the problem for people who are just starting out, and the reason why they work so hard, and again, I did the same, was because, well, if you're trying to like develop your business or scale, it seems logical to you that you need to now spend as much time as possible directly on business and stuff that will, has a direct correlation to your business and the scalability. But what I want to say, guys, is that, well, obviously you know that, but there's a way to do something. There's two ways to do something. Basically, you can work to 10, 12 hours a day, focusing primarily on your business. And you can maybe also balance things out and do stuff that might not see, you might not think that they're directly correlated to your business. Like, for example, reading. But I can vouch for myself and tell you guys that sometimes I could have saved a ton of hours if I would just stop working so damn hard and use my time more effectively on other things, like for reading, for taking advice, for educating myself, watching videos, tutorials. Because sometimes, for example, just yesterday, I've been working like crazy on ManyChat, developing some kind of a flow. I worked on it like crazy for like 6 hours, and then I stopped. I decided that it's too much. I also want you to know that after, I guess, some kind of time, like if you're working like 6 hours straight now, the hours become less effectively. I mean, you think you put a lot of time, but the truth is that after like 2 hours, 3 hours, like your brain kind of went dark, and you're not as effective as you when you first started. So what happened to me on the flow, and the reason that I'm sharing it with you, is that after 6 hours of trying to do something, and I found a way to do that. I watched on YouTube a presentation. It only took me 20 minutes to find a better way, and in which I could save like 3 hours of work at least to do the same kind of thing. I thought that implementation is key, and now I need to work directly on business. But the truth is that when stopping and trying to do something else, the idea came to me, specifically about to me because I watched a video that shared an example which triggered that kind of thinking that I could do it more effectively. But yeah, I think this is the problem that a lot of people face. Again, they're working hard, not smart. They tear themselves apart by working 12 hours a day while not being aware of how effective their time is. Because if you're working 12 hours a day, chances are that you could have accomplished the same kind of effort in like 8 hours, and the 4 last hours were, well, you were so goddamn tired that you didn't really accomplish much.
Exactly that, and your creative thinking and your willpower overall is not unlimited. So exactly what you say is it's a perfect example of, we see a lot of people speaking out, we need to push ourselves, grind it, hustling it. But of course, we need to do it sometimes with intention, but still need to think of, okay, how can we do it effective? So that's a perfect example, man. The next one. Okay, so now you know balance is really important, or at least making sure that you're not lacking in something. That's what I want to address. Like, okay, yes, it's about creating balance, but more importantly, it's about removing a lack in something. Because just to give you an example, when I'm for example performing on a high level in my business, but I can show it immediately what I'm trying to say. For example, I'm performing in a high level in business right now, but currently I'm lacking in some areas, but my health is decreased, and also my impact is really low. This one is a bit higher. So whenever I'm on a sales conversation, I'm super confident, I'm feeling really well, because I know this is something I'm really, really good at. But when I'm going to the beach and I feel really like unconfident about how I look, so I feel unfulfilled about myself, or for example, I look up to all those influencers on social media and I'm just scrolling all the time and I feel like I want to be like them, is we're getting unfulfilled. Even though we're so successful, at that moment we forget about all that success, and we feel like shit. So what's going on? Why do you need to make sure that lack is gone? Because there is no moment anymore that you can say to yourself like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, because you know you're working on it slow but steady. How can you do it? Now I'm going to share my 3-step system. So the 3-step system, how to activate your tactical mindset. So what you probably have seen, like, okay, the balance, it's quite hard to maintain. But to be honest, it's super easy to implement in your life with tools. Because if you're not like a strategic person, then still it's quite easy with the use of tools. So yeah, these are more like a bit of military verbiages, but just I will use like the most simple verbiages. The tactical triage is just a personal audit about yourself, your current state. The bulletproof habit tracker is a habit tracker, just as it says, but then with intention. So not just creating habits because people tell like, hey, you need to wake up at 4 o'clock or you need to do this. No, habits which only are applicable for you right now, for your personal life, so really personalized. And the last one, I call it taking the shot goals layer, but it's all about creating goals, but then on a different way than most people are used to. And I will show you what I mean. So first, that triage. So what I do with myself every single week is I'm auditing, I'm reviewing myself in each area and the subtopics underneath. So I have more like a bigger perspective, so I can dig a bit deeper into my current performance, and I color them. And for example, I will show you one example what I did with one client. This is a result after one triage. To share with you guys, okay, what is it? Green means, okay, this is going well at this moment, the best I possibly can. Yellow is, I need to work on it as soon as possible. And red is like, yeah, I never did something with it and it definitely needs a lot of work. And as you can see, this client has like a perfect example of an entrepreneur who is focusing on building a business, but as a father, so he's taking care of his family, so that's why balance is green. He has his own community, but still feels like, okay, showing up needs to be better, but is lacking his health. And what we see, what I see a lot of the time is when people are lacking in their routines, they are also lacking in their health. So that is really something it's really in touch with each other. But as well, yeah, that's why I say synergizing, because one area is lacking, other areas will have effect as well. So weekly auditing yourself on these areas. So for example, to give you guys an action step, try to assess yourself every single week and write down or yellow, green, red, or a score from 1 to 10, and then score yourself in those areas. And if you do that, then you get the next one. So this is, for example, for myself. This is an example how I do it. So I fill in and I can see, okay, what's happening in my life. When I'm lacking in something, I can see it immediately. So for example, when I score less in health, I can immediately see, okay, what is the effect on other areas? So if business is decreasing, then it's way easier to say, okay, it has a lot of to do with each other. When I do this, I am so aware of my current state so that I can relate feelings, sense, whatever, everything what's going on, I can relate to things what's going on. And of course, this is not like 100% accurate, measured by some aura ring or something. This is still based on emotions and feelings. But still, when you do it consistently, you can get quite accurate. So first, that audit. Second one is the habit tracker. And this seems like, okay, whoa, what the heck is going on? I just want to give like a brief example. So in May, I decided to focus on business and mastery and skills. So because of those two are my focus, I always chose one on the left side and one on the right side, so that I can focus on those two, because they are not like two of the same things. But I know, okay, because I focus on those two things, which habits can I implement in those other areas today or tomorrow to make sure that it's still growing. And then I create a habit tracker to track those habits so that I eventually create some kind of chain. In this case, this is a quite advanced habit tracker, but at the beginning, you just want to have one habit per area. And maybe the simplest one possible, but it's about creating that like hook or loop so that you're growing steadily. And after 1 month, you add a difficulty. So you make it a bit more difficult. And what happens? You are like, of course, we are not machines, but you're automating yourself and making difficult things easier. And this is what happens why we think of those high achievers, like, whoa, It seems like they are everywhere. It seems like they're so freaking amazing at everything. How is that possible? Because they know I need to start small to grow it into something big. And this is one of the most overlooked things. As an entrepreneur, we want to go all in too fast. While when we want to implement something new, we need to start super small, even if it's like achievable. Better start with something which is super achievable and grow it into something, than begin at intermediate level and then fall all the time.
I think it's amazing. If I can say something, I just love when we get practical. I just love that, and I think that the people also appreciate it. So basically, afterwards, let's say after this interview, you suggest people to do self-assessment and to track weekly. How are they in every aspect? So, like in family, in business, in all aspects. That, by the way, if you can, I think it will be amazing to actually like either screenshot the page in which, not the tracker, but the aspects in which you like provide family, so people can, you know, self-assess in every area and find the things that you need to improve and create a daily habit. That, again, it's all about small actions. So if, for example, I'm lacking on health, I can now I can now make a decision that I'm creating a new daily habit that will involve me, I don't know, eating maybe one less junk food kind of meal a day and eating, I don't know, a salad instead. I'm just throwing an idea, but it's all about like assessing, like analyzing what aspects you're bad at, or at least not as good as you'd like, and creating a daily habit that you can do again every single day, one small thing, in order to improve that, and then after a week also to assess and make sure that you are progressing. Correct? This is what I got from that. So this is amazing, guys. I can tell you from about myself that I started. For example, we talked about how entrepreneurs living outside the health, which is very common, and I suffered from that for a long time. I think that ever since I was like 13, 14, I already started doing all the online marketing. I officially started when I was 15, when I was making money, but I even started sooner than that. So I was living the health outside. Like I was like not doing anything. I was on the computer all day long, not going outside, not doing any kind of exercises. And I started to be overweight. So for the last 4 months, I created this habit. First of all, I'm watching my weight now. I'm down 18 kilograms, and I'm eating, you know, healthy kind of foods instead of all the junk that I ate before that. And I think it is amazing to vouch for myself, guys, that this decision makes me feel better every single day. I can tell you for a fact that I'm more energized, having easier time focusing and doing all the other stuff. And it's all started with this decision that I made. And I'm also like creating a challenge for myself in which every single day I spend at least 30 minutes on reading. And I think that your presentation just came in the best timing ever. This is exactly what I'm been practicing for the last couple months now, and it is amazing. So I just want to recap so guys can actually take steps. I think it is very important to, again, it's all about self-assess, guys. So it won't be, as Rowan said, the most accurate one, but the more you do it, the more you will be able to, you know, see how actually would you rank yourself. I mean, could I be healthier? Could I spend more time on my business, or should I spend like less time on business so I can spend it on my family? It's all about self-assessing, and later on you'll be better at that, like any other skill.
Exactly. And the reason why I tell exactly my process is I just want to, because one of the things I really stand for is not trying to be sneaky and then tell people only one thing, not of the process. Because what I learned from some free content is a lot of things. So I know for sure if people implement this, a lot of changes will happen in their lives. But one of the biggest things, and this is like, I feel like one of the most important things which I can say, if I say this, other people would haven't say it. because they knew, okay, maybe then they come back to me for coaching, that kind of stuff. For me, that is definitely not the intention. If it ever happens, okay, that's cool, but implementing this is super easy. But be aware of the mindset stuff which is happening in your mind, which is holding you back, which is challenging you, which is asking yourself, okay, what's going on? So that's why you need to be aware. It's easy to implement, but for sure there will be limiting beliefs, all that kind of mindset stuff which you don't want to have, which are coming up, but you need to be aware of it. So that's one single tip if you want to try this out. And the last one of this 3-step system is setting goals. We tend to focus on setting goals on business, like 3 biggest goals or whatever. What I think is really important is set goals for those areas. And with setting goals, it doesn't always have to be like the craziest goals ever, but more importantly, create tangible goals that you definitely can achieve, but also with in mind, okay, what's most important for you right now. So for me, yeah, I'm trying to lose body fat like really seriously. So I know, okay, some other parts can be like affected, but for some of the people could be like, okay, implement a healthy lifestyle. I want to have this year as implemented a healthy lifestyle, and then you're going to divide it into a 3-month goal, 6-month goal, 9-month goal, so you have tangible steps, and that you can definitely see, okay, what is really attainable. And if you reach those goals faster, of course you can make them bigger, but still you don't always have to be like crazy hard on yourself. I feel like the overall goal needs to be like a stretch goal, but those smaller ones definitely could be something which challenge you a bit, but yeah, it doesn't need to be everything. So
I actually want to say one thing, guys. If you want Rowan to share his, I'm talking about the slide in which you broke down everything, like family, balance, work, everything. If you want Rowan to share this amazing slide that I think can greatly help a lot of people here, just comment yes below and we'll do that. So you can later, after this presentation and amazing call, also, self-assess where you stand on every aspect and create an actionable goals. And I think that what you mentioned here is very important, guys. I know for myself that number one reason why I couldn't do a lot of things that I wanted to do for years, okay, for losing weight, I wanted to do that for years, is first of all because I haven't broke down the thing that I actually need to do. I mean, you can say, yeah, I want a healthier life, but that doesn't mean anything. So actually break down the kind of goals, steps, mission, make them achievable, make them, the kind of stuff that it's either you did it or you did not do it. If I just say I want to live healthier and now a day is over, I don't know, I left, I don't know, it was healthy kind of day, I don't know. However, if I'll have like specific goals for the day, like I need to eat this many calories, I need to do one exercise, then it's a yes or no kind of question, and it's easier to follow and it's easier to assess later on when you do this weekly kind of checkup. So it is amazing, and this is very important. And guys, also what I can say is that you need to understand, like you mentioned, there's a blueprint, there's a tactical kind of I don't remember the exact case, tactical what was it, tactical what?
Tactical 6.
Yeah. And then there's also the purpose. And the purpose, basically, in other words, is the kind of why you're doing it. You need to visualize the why. You need to know why you're doing this. Many people like go and do those kind of missions and stuff without really understanding what it is that they desire. I mean, yeah, I want a better body. But the truth is, like Rowan mentioned, when he goes to the beach, he wants to feel secure. He wants to feel like he looks good. He wants to be confident. If you'll have a very proper, clear, and a kind of why that you can visualize and it makes you hungry to achieve it, then it becomes much easier to also follow the steps, no matter how hard and how painful they are. Again, if I'll just say I want to look better, it's not really sexy to me to really work hard for that. But if again I'll
Mm-hmm.
self-assess and tell, okay, Daniel, you have you are not feeling secure about your body, you have a harder time, I don't know, going out with friends, you feel shy every time you take off your shirt in the beach. If I'll really go deep and understand the kind of pain and really dig into that, it becomes so like important to me that then again it becomes just easier to follow the steps. And this is the tip that I can give you, and I think you broke it down very 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 nicely, so thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, man. And one thing I wanted to add on that, because it was a really great overview, is you always need to think the purpose really deep. So, of course, when I'm going to the beach is to look better, but also try to add it to something really emotional. For example, yes, I want to, for short term, it's like looking always good and better. But more importantly, that I can be always healthy and a healthy example for my children, which will come somewhere in the future. But that you always have like a deeper connection with it, so that your will to achieve it is way bigger. So your why do it needs to be way bigger than why not.
Exactly.
So basically, this was the end. Yeah, this was still for that fitness presentation. So sorry for that beach photo. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, first of all, it was an amazing presentation. And we
Thank you, man.
actually, well, we usually do in the group more things that are like digital marketing related, but I think this presentation is a great addition to the group because, as you just mentioned, entrepreneurs and people who are in business usually have this tendency to forget about the stuff that doesn't, directly correlated to what they're trying to achieve in business, while forgetting that this is actually hurting them in the long run. Something that I can tell about myself, and something that Rowan, I think, can vouch for a lot of his clients, and super helpful and important. Guys, if you have any questions, it can be about anything. It can be about how you can start. It can be your personal share on the kind of aspects in life that you'd like to develop. It can be about anything. Just let us know now down below. Otherwise, I think that we can quickly also recap the kind of assignment that we gave them. So basically,
Hmm.
there was a few people that asked for the screenshot. So I think that after the interview, if we can create this screenshot of
That's
the
cool,
slide
man.
with all the breakthrough, I think it will be amazing. And guys, if you can quickly recap again the kind of assignment. So they need to self-assess. Any tips for how to start with that? So again, for a person who never really started thinking about where am I in my health, where am I in the any kind of
Hmm.
tips you can help with for the first kind of checkup that they do?
Yeah. So first of all, if you want to start with like, okay, I really need to take more than just business way more seriously, is start with that reviewing. And it's difficult to review ourselves, so this is definitely an exercise that you need to like try more often. But what you can do is write for yourself down like, okay, what is right now my desired goal in this area. So for example, I just say something like, yeah, I want to feel healthy, for example, so that my children will also have a healthy example. Just say something. And then you write down, okay, what's your current situation? So then you have like the gap, and you can see, okay, how big is that gap? Is it like that I'm way off the road, so I need to be true to myself, like, okay, this is something I need to take action immediately. Maybe I need to find a fitness coach because I don't have that much time, so he will help me. Because for example, for myself, is um, when I know something I want to achieve, but I don't have that much time, I hire a coach, which is helping me so that I don't have to think about it. And he is just giving me a plan and I'm following it. So start with the reviewing and don't be too hard for yourself, but yeah, keep stay realistic.
Okay, I think it's a great tip. We actually have a question here. Maybe
Yes.
it's very related to what you just mentioned, but if you can read it together, basically, I think it's a tough one. How would you develop a mindset that you don't know how to develop? I mean, basically, again, how would you start with that, with this whole balance things out and this
Hmm.
mindset that you showed?
Yeah. So basically, that's why I created this like toolkit or like, yeah, 3-step system. Because if you're reviewing yourself, if you're creating those habits, you're tracking it, and you're setting those goals, you are activating a strategic way of thinking in your life. So that is why, that is how you can develop a mindset that you don't know how to do it. Basically, when you do those 3 steps, you're going to think way more strategic on how you act as a person, how you are as a person, and also think of, okay, I see that there is something I need to improve. How can I improve it? So that you always think of, how can I do it? And sometimes you need to ask people for help, and sometimes you need to search for it. But it's always not seeing something like, yeah, I cannot do it, it's not possible. Always try to get the how question and see, okay, what is something right now which I can implement, or who can I ask, or whatever. Just one action what you can do immediately to create a bit more clarity.
I think it was a great question, by the way.
Yeah.
My tip to you is, again, simplicity is key here. If you're overwhelmed by the whole strategy and the whole mindset kind of thing, again, aim for easy improvements that you can do. I mean, I think that no matter what kind of person on earth I'll go to, he'll know, or he or she will know, what kind of aspects in life he left aside and wants to improve. So if you decide again that you want to live a healthier life, but you don't know anything about living healthy, exercises, the calorie, I don't know, counting, you don't know anything about that. I mean, being resourceful here, I think that being resourceful overall is the number one skill that you need to master.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter if you're entrepreneur, if you're business, it doesn't matter. Being resourceful, being able to find the answers, being able to, okay, I don't know anything about that, how do I improve myself, how do I achieve that, it's very important. So just start with easy assignments that you can do. Yeah, I don't know anything about healthy, but I know that pizza is bad, so I can start off by leaving pizzas aside, or leaving junk food aside. And this was the first kind of decision that I made, because I don't know, I mean, I didn't know anything about living healthier life. So I just said, okay, what's the easiest kind of thing that I can do that will make the most kind of impact? I left aside all the sweets, all the kind of junk food. I started with that, and it was and well, doesn't matter if I know something about living healthy. I know that this is bad, so it doesn't really require me to be aware of these thing that I want to improve. It's just an easy decision that you can make, and later again, you can ask people, like he mentioned. You can hire people if you don't know anything about it. You can go to Google and search about it. It's all about finding, practical steps that you can do, and later on, when you'll do that, the more time you spend on it, you'll become better. It will be easier to make other decisions and to continue and more and better improve yourself as you get going. I hope I
Hmm.
made it clear, but yeah,
Yeah, man, that's really good. That's really good.
awesome. And we do have one more question. Again, if you have time, I don't know what's
Yeah,
your
man.
time.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect. So I'll read it with you. I find it difficult to focus on different goals at a time. It makes me feel less productive. I usually focus on one thing and that's it. How to focus on all these goals you mentioned? This is also a
yes,
good one, I think.
yes. So, for example, you have these 8 goals. Um, my focus is on business. I just say one focus, business, and creating some routines. What do I do in those other areas? I'm not focusing on them, but I'm just implementing one simple step. Basically, the same answer as the last question. What is one simple step that I can do every single day to improve that area? So we don't have to do like 10 different steps for something new, just something super simple. which is so easy to do, what you can do every single day to improve it. So for example, impact could be, I will send a message every single day to one person. That doesn't take much time. Balance, okay, I will send a message to someone I know, a relationship or a family member. That's also a thing. Then health, okay, I'm going to leave the switch. And mindset, I'm going to try meditation every single day. Those are all things altogether, maybe 20 minutes work, and it's not taking so much effort, and you're not focusing on them. It's just adding them into a daily work routine.
Well, I think you answered it perfectly. So remember, again, it might sound like overwhelming to now do all of these new things, but again, if you know how to do it, like, well, how to create missions and goals and kind of things every single day that are, well, reasonable and that you can actually achieve. I mean, people are hungry when they first start. I mean, when I first started, I wanted to, cut my calories so extreme, and I wanted to go, lose weight so quickly. And I started to set goals that are, they weren't really achievable. And this is a great problem that a lot of people have. And that's why they never stick to it, because they try to go extreme while not, being able to really obligate to the process, to really commit to it, because it's just too hard. But again, if you look at Rowan missions, he actually does things that he'll be able to stick to. So if you want to, balance things out, start out with things that you can, implement every single day. So when I started to read, I read a lot of books in my life, but I never was an active reader, kind of person who reads every single day. So I started with 30 minutes a day. This is something that I can achieve. It's very simple. And after that, I'll do that for enough days. After I commit myself to the new routine, it would actually also drive me and make the whole process simple. Because if I read it like for 10 days straight, I don't want to now stop, because it would be a very bad decision. I already did it for 10 days. If I'll stop now, it would ruin the entire, process. So then it also, like, after you commit, after you do that for enough time, it will also, become easier to you, because you want to achieve that new habit that you developed. And then you can also, I think, that's what I'm going to do, make it a little bit harder with time. So like, I read for 30 minutes every single day. I done it perfectly for 2 weeks. Now, third week, I want to spend 45 minutes every single day. If I would first start, I think that if I would first start with 35 minutes, I might not stick to it. I might not be able to stick to it, because it would be, I don't know, too overwhelming for me. But if I already did it for 2 weeks with 30 minutes, now, in order to keep up, I must do that. Otherwise, I'll leave those 2 weeks, 2 horrible weeks aside, and I lose everything. So it just becomes easier after you commit, after you do it for enough time. It becomes easier, I think, for you. And you can later on, if you are capable of, also make it a little bit harder. But start out with small kind of goals that you can achieve every single day, so it wouldn't be overwhelming. And I think that if it's too much overwhelming for you, I'll ask Rowan about it. But you don't have to do everything. I mean, if you decide that you want to improve yourself on all aspects, maybe you can start with just a few of them.
Yep.
Because you think, yeah, I want to improve my health, but right now I have 6 other aspects that I want to do, and it's just too difficult for me. So maybe health I'll start doing in 2 weeks when I know that I can stick to everything together. So it's better
Exactly.
to do 4 than trying to stick to 7 and miss, I think. So exactly that.
Yeah, man, and you need to think of this as a long-term life plan. That's what I call it. For example, my coaching is what I call tactical life plan, because this is not something just to get you rich quick or just like immediate results. Of course, results can be like really fast, but what I think is important, that people feel fulfilled forever in their lives when this system is really well formed.
Okay, amazing. So,
Yeah.
guys, I'll let you again 1 or 2 minutes to leave your questions on the chat. If you don't have any, I think we'll end it. But basically, until I'll give them 1 2 minutes. First of all, I want to thank you for this awesome presentation. I mean, when
You're
we
welcome,
met,
man.
when he showed it to me, I said, man, this presentation looks awesome. And by the
Mhm.
way, guys, if you were questioning about that, he made everything by himself. So I think this is crazy. Because the
Mhm.
graphics and colors, everything looks so nice. So guys, I want to remind you, first of all, we're going to share the screenshot with you. So in case you are inspired, and in case you really want to stick to it, which I think you should, and I know for a fact that I started those habits, but I want to improve. So I'll also do this whole self-assessment thing. So we'll leave it inside a group later on. You'll be able to catch the replay as well. And again, thank you so much for that. Unless you have anything else to say. Oh, by the way, I also wanted to say, where can people find you?
So on Facebook, yeah, it's just my name. I'm also in this group, so you can find me. Um, Also in my Facebook group, if you really want to know more about this whole system, I'm going to dive deeper in that group. It's called the Millennial Leaders. And on Instagram, I have like just my name with a dot in the middle. And somewhere this month, I'm going to create a podcast also called the Millennial Leaders. So
Oh,
everything which is called Millennial Leaders is my thing. So that's where you can find me.
okay. We see.
Mm.
I see a comment found him already. So it's
Yeah,
awesome. I think you have new fans.
they are fast.
Yeah. So guys, I would highly suggest you, if you want to learn more about that, which Rowan can totally do that. I mean, he is uploading every single day to his Facebook profile. I think the easiest way will be to actually go inside his profile. He's tagged on this event, so you can easily find it. And then from it, you can find him on other channels as well. I think that there's a link to your group inside your profile, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken.
Yep.
Okay, so awesome. And yeah, I think you totally should. I mean, guys, again, you might want to, focus only on business, but this is important for your business. It might not seem like it, but this is crucial for your business success. This is crucial for you to be able to keep moving. This is crucial for you to have a healthier and an easier life. Okay.